He stood at the edge of the quiet docking bay, his hands covered in grease, when he first heard the shouting. The human, Ethan Ward, was only trying to repair a cargo loader when a small shape ran toward him. She moved so fast he first mistook her for a child. But when she skidded to a stop in front of him, he saw she was something else. Entirely an alien. Barely reaching his waist, with thin armor plates on her arms and sharp, bright eyes that shimmered like polished amber. Her breathing was fast, sharp, panicked. "Take it out!" she yelled, pointing at her shoulder. Take it out right now! It's going to harm me." Ethan stared at her, startled, unsure what he was looking at. She was trembling, clutching her arm as if something terrible was buried inside it. Her armor was cracked, and something small and metallic blinked through the gap. He crouched down slowly so she wouldn't feel threatened. "Hey, slow down. What's going to harm you?" "This thing," she cried. "The enemy put it on me. Not on me, inside me. It's in my armor. It will explode when I stop moving. Please take it out. Please." Her fear was real. Her voice shook with every word. She wasn't faking anything. Ethan lifted his hands. Okay. First, breathe. I'm not going to touch anything until you calm down. What's your name?" She blinked, confused by the question. "Name? Why does my name matter when I'm about to explode?" "Because," Ethan said gently, "if I'm going to help you, I'd like to know who I'm talking to." She hesitated, gripping her shoulder tightly. "Riley," she whispered. "Riley," he repeated with a calm tone. "Good. Now, I'm Ethan, and I won't let anything happen to you. Okay? Let me see what's inside your armor." Riley stepped closer, shaking so hard her small armor plates rattled. Ethan gently brushed aside the cracked edges of her shoulder plating and finally saw the device properly. It was the size of a coin, stuck deep between two segments. It blinked with a faint red glow. A tracking device? A trigger? He had no idea, but it didn't look stable. "How long has this been in there?" Ethan asked. "Since the last battle," she said in a trembling voice. "I was captured for a moment. They tried to attach a detonation piece. I fought them. I escaped. But I can't remove it myself." He nodded slowly. "Relax. You're safe here. Known when. After. I'm not safe," she snapped. "Humans are slow. If it explodes..." "It won't," he interrupted, meeting her eyes. Her breathing slowed a little. It wasn't trust not yet, but she was desperate. Ethan carefully touched the panel around the device. Riley tensed immediately, making a small hiss of pain. "Sorry," he murmured. "The edges are sharp. Try not to move." "I can't help it," she whispered. "I'm scared." He gave her a small smile. "It's okay to be scared. But let me focus." He examined the device more closely. There was a single wire running into it. The red light blinked slowly. It wasn't a bomb, not exactly. It looked more like a panic-triggered restraint system. If she kept moving, the sensor stayed inactive. If she stopped or slowed too much, it might activate. He had seen something similar on old mining equipment. But why use it on a fighter like her? He breathed out slowly. "Riley, I can remove it. But I need to take off the broken part of your armor first. That means I'll need to cut the plate." "Cut it?" she repeated, stepping back. No cutting. Armor cutting means injury. Means weakness. Means I can reach the device safely," Ethan interrupted softly. "I promise you, I won't hurt you." Riley's bright eyes flickered with fear. She watched his hands like a cornered animal. Ethan understood it. Trust didn't come easy for a fighter who had been hunted. He reached for a tool on the table. A small arc blade. Precision cutter. Riley stared at it. Her voice barely a whisper. "Is that for me?" "Yes," he said. "Just the armor. Only the armor. She swallowed hard and nodded. Okay. Do it fast. Ethan positioned the blade near the cracked plate. The metal hissed softly as he sliced a thin line through it. Riley flinched at the sound, but he wasn't touching her skin, just the armor. He worked slowly, carefully, and lifted the broken segment away. Beneath it, the small device pulsed again. Riley's voice tightened. It's getting brighter. That means danger. No, Ethan said after watching the pattern. It means the plate was blocking its signal. Now, the light is clearer. It's not going to explode. She stared at him like she couldn't believe someone could speak so calmly about something she feared so much. Ethan leaned closer. I'm going to pull it out now. It might sting. She squeezed her eyes shut. Just do it. With steady hands, Ethan took a thin prying tool and slid it under the device. It clicked one tiny sound, but Riley jerked. It's okay, Ethan said quickly. It's just the lock mechanism releasing. She opened one eye. It's out? Almost. He pulled gently, lifting the device free from the armor joint. It detached fully and sat shining in his palm, no longer blinking. Riley staggered back, eyes wide. It's not on me. It's not on me anymore. Ethan, it's not on me. Ethan nodded, giving her the device so she could see. Yeah, you're safe now. She stared at it as if she couldn't believe her own eyes. Her body sagged with relief, and she collapsed to her knees. Ethan rushed forward, worried she was hurt. Riley, are you okay? She looked up at him with trembling eyes. I was running for so long. I thought I would die. I thought the moment I slowed down, it would end me. You're okay now, he said, keeping his tone steady and gentle. You're not alone anymore. It didn't explode? She whispered again, unsure. No, it's just a tracker trigger device. And it's disabled now. Riley stared at the floor. I don't understand humans. You help without asking anything. You help even if it's dangerous. Ethan shrugged lightly. You asked for help. That's enough reason. Her voice was soft. Others chased me away. Creatures bigger than you. Stronger than you. But you didn't run. Why? Ethan sat beside her. Because you needed someone. And because humans don't leave someone in danger if they can help it. Riley looked down at her small hands. I am a fighter, Ethan. A strong one. Everyone gets scared, Ethan replied. Even the strongest fighter. Her eyes lifted again. You didn't get scared. He smiled. I get scared too. I just don't let fear stop me. Crowed. For a long moment, Riley was silent. Then she stood slowly, as if testing the feeling of being free again. Her shoulders relaxed. Her eyes brighter now. Ethan, she said quietly, I owe you my life. He shook his head. You don't owe me anything. She stepped closer, surprising him. Though small in size, she stood with a fierce kind of pride. I owe you more than you understand. On my world, when someone saves a fighter, that means something important. And what does it mean? Ethan asked. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she placed her hand over her heart, in a gesture he didn't understand, but felt meaningful. It means, she whispered, I will stay by your side until my debt is repaid. Ethan blinked. Riley, I didn't do it for a debt. I know. She said softly. That is why it matters. He sighed gently. Well, you can stay here until you feel safe. No need for debts. Her expression softened, almost grateful. You are strange, Ethan. Strange and brave. And you, he said with a small smile, are tougher than you look. Riley glanced toward the entrance of the bay, her eyes narrowing with the instinct of someone used to being hunted. But then, she looked back at Ethan, and her shoulders eased. "For the first time in many days," she whispered. "I feel like I can breathe." He stood up and offered her his hand. "Come on. Let's get you something to eat. And maybe repair your armor. Cataclode. Cataclode. Cataclode's last rive. Cataclode. 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 Cataclode." Riley hesitated, then placed her small hand in his. It was the first time she willingly touched a human. And in that moment, something shifted quiet, small, but powerful. A beginning neither of them realized yet. Ethan guided Riley through the narrow hallway that led from the docking bay into the maintenance section of the station. The small alien fighter walked close to him, not touching, but close enough that her steps stayed within the range of someone seeking safety. Her sharp eyes scanned every passing corner, every ceiling vent, every shadow. The fear from before had lessened, but it was still there, hiding under her calm surface like a trembling pulse. She kept one hand lightly covering the spot where the device used to be, as if her mind hadn't accepted that she was free from it. Ethan noticed. "You don't have to hold your shoulder like that anymore," he said gently. "It's gone." Riley didn't look at him. "My body still expects the weight. It's strange. When you carry fear for too long, your muscles learn it." He nodded. "Yeah. Fear leaves marks." They reached the small maintenance quarters. Ethan opened a cupboard and grabbed a food pack. He handed her the sealed packet. Riley turned it around, studying it like a puzzle. "What is this?" "Food," Ethan said. "Human food. Eat slowly. It might taste different from your world." She tore it open cautiously, sniffed it, then took a small bite. Her eyes widened. "This is warm and sweet. Humans eat sweet things?" "Sometimes," Ethan laughed. "You like it?" Riley took another bite, bigger this time. "It is strange, but good." She sat on a crate, holding the packet in both hands like it was a rare treasure. Ethan leaned against the wall, watching her with a soft smile. Her size made her seem like a child. But the way she held herself, careful, alert, battle-worn, showed she was far from one. After a while, she asked quietly, "Do humans eat together?" "Yes." "Then why aren't you eating?" Ethan shrugged. "Because I wanted to make sure you ate first." Her eyes softened in a way he hadn't seen before. She took a small piece from her food pack and held it out to him. "For you," she said. He blinked. "Riley. It's okay. It's yours." "In my people's customs," she explained gently, "sharing food means trust. You helped me. I want to show trust." Ethan took the piece, smiling. "Then, I'm honored." Her expression warmed a tiny bit, almost like a shy pride. When they finished the meal, Riley stood and examined the tools on Ethan's workbench. She picked up a micro screwdriver and flipped it with practiced ease. "You fix machines," she said. "Yeah." "And you fight?" "Only when I have to." She nodded. "On my world, you would be called a dual blood. Someone who works with hands and stands ready to defend. Rare. Respected." Ethan laughed lightly. Riley blinked slowly. "Humans confuse me." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "What part this time?" "You help without reward. You risk danger without fear. And you speak gently, even when someone shouts." He scratched the back of his neck, embarrassed. "I don't know. I guess that's just normal human behavior." Riley shook her head. "Not for fighters. Not in war." Her voice changed. Softer. Deeper. "Not where I come from." Ethan watched her as she fell silent. The shadows in her eyes told him there were memories she didn't want to revisit. After a long pause, she whispered, "Can you help me repair my armor?" "Of course." They spent the next hour working on it together. Riley stood patiently while Ethan replaced broken segments. She guided him with small gestures or soft instructions whenever a piece needed to be angled a certain way. Her movements were precise, almost graceful. At one point, Ethan noticed a long scar running along her side beneath the armor frame. He couldn't stop himself from asking softly, "Does that one hurt?" Riley froze. She turned to him slowly. "Humans see too much." "Sorry," Ethan said gently. "Didn't mean to make you uncomfortable." "It does not hurt anymore," Riley said, her voice low. He didn't push further. She seemed grateful. A few minutes later, she broke the silence herself. "My people, the Velarin, were raised for battle. We don't stop. We don't rest. And we don't trust easily." "You trusted me," Ethan said quietly. Riley looked up at him. "I had no choice." "And now?" She hesitated. Her yellow eyes softened. Ethan smiled. Suddenly, metal groaned above them. A harsh scraping sound. Riley tensed instantly, her stance shifting from calm to combat, ready in 1 second. "Someone is here," she whispered. "Someone following." Ethan listened. The sound came again, distant, heavy footsteps echoing through the corridor outside. "That doesn't sound like station crew," Ethan muttered. Riley stepped forward, small but fierce, eyes narrowing. "They came for the device. They must have tracked me here. They want it back." "Or they want you back," Ethan said. Riley didn't deny it. The footsteps grew louder. Riley grabbed his wrist suddenly. "Ethan, stay behind me." He blinked. "Riley, you're tiny. You can't shield." "I am small," she said sharply. "But I am a trained fighter. You are not." He opened his mouth to argue. But she stepped in front of him, her body tense, ready to leap. Despite her size, Ethan could see the danger in her posture. The kind of danger taught by a lifetime of war. The door slid open. A tall, armored figure entered, its helmet reflecting the dim light. Its voice echoed, metallic and cold. "Velarin Unit R7. You fled your command. You carry classified technology. Surrender or be terminated." Riley growled a small, sharp sound with surprising force. The soldier took a step forward. "The device must be returned," Riley answered with a hiss. "It is gone." End quote. Ethan held up the disabled device. "You mean this?" 9. "We?" The soldier's helmet turned toward Ethan. "Human. Step away." Riley moved instantly, shielding Ethan with her small frame, even though she barely covered his stomach. "And you face me." The soldier raised its arm, a weapon unfolded from its wrist. Ethan's voice dropped to a whisper. "I do not fight alone," she replied, her voice trembling with something strange. "Not fear, but certainty. Not anymore." The soldier stepped forward. Riley moved first. She launched herself upward, small body twisting with incredible speed. The soldier swung its weapon, but she dodged under it, landing a hard strike to its knee joint. Sparks burst out. The soldier staggered. Ethan ducked behind a crate but kept watching. He wanted to help, but he had no weapon. Nothing but his tools. Riley leaped again, aiming for the helmet, but the soldier caught her midair and slammed her against the wall. She cried out softly. "Riley!" Ethan shouted. The soldier lifted her by the collar of her armor. Weak, damaged, defective. Riley's eyes burned with anger, but she struggled in its grip. Ethan's heart pounded. He grabbed the nearest tool, a magnetic pressure wrench, and sprinted toward the soldier. Without thinking, he swung it as hard as he could at the back of the helmet. The impact echoed. The soldier jerked forward and dropped Riley. She fell to the ground, gasping. The soldier turned to Ethan. "Human interference will not be tolerated." It raised its weapon. Riley pushed herself up, eyes blazing with a fierce, wild protectiveness Ethan had never seen from her before. "No," she screamed. She darted behind the soldier, leaped up, and jammed her small claws into a weak joint at the base of its helmet. With a sharp twist, she severed a cable. The soldier's lights flickered. It froze, then fell forward with a heavy crash. Silence filled the room. Riley landed on her knees, panting hard. Ethan rushed to her. "Riley, are you okay?" She nodded weakly, but when Ethan touched her shoulder, she leaned into him, trembling harder than before. "I told you not to interfere," she whispered. "And let him hurt you?" Ethan said. "Not happening." Her voice softened to almost nothing. "You risked your life again." "Yeah," he said with a gentle smile. "Seems like a habit." She stared at him with wide, unblinking eyes filled with something she didn't know how to express. Slowly, she placed her small hand over his chest, right where his heart beat. "Ethan," she whispered, "when a Velarin feels this towards someone, it means something." "What does it mean?" he asked softly. Riley swallowed. "It means I no longer stay out of debt." She pressed her forehead lightly against him. "It means I choose you." Ethan gently guided Riley to sit on a crate while he checked the fallen enemy soldier. The armored body lay still. Lights dim. Systems shut down. Riley watched with tired eyes, clutching her side where she had been slammed. Her breath trembled each time she inhaled, but she forced herself to appear strong. It was her nature showing weakness felt wrong to her. Still, Ethan saw the way her fingers twitched from pain. "Don't move too much," he said softly. Riley looked up at him. "I am fine." "That's a lie," he murmured. She stiffened. "I do not lie." "You do when you're hurt," Ethan replied with a gentle smile. Riley tried to protest, but her voice wavered. Ethan knelt beside her, checking her bruised side. She flinched slightly, but didn't stop him. He carefully pressed around the area. "Nothing broken," he said. "Just bruised. You'll heal." Riley lowered her eyes. "I do not enjoy you seeing me weak." "You're not weak," Ethan said. "You're one of the strongest fighters I've ever seen." Her gaze met his. "Then why do I feel small right now?" "Because," Ethan said softly, "you're finally safe enough to feel things you didn't allow yourself before." She wasn't sure how to respond. She looked away, unable to hold his eyes for long. Suddenly an alarm blared through the station. A loud, echoing siren. Ethan jumped to his feet. Riley instantly stood as well, ignoring the pain. "What is that?" she demanded. "It means unauthorized entry," Ethan said. Riley's eyes narrowed. "More soldiers. Probably." Riley took a deep breath, straightened her damaged armor, and wiped the dust from her face. Her small shoulders lifted, and her fighter's expression returned cold, sharp, fierce. But when she spoke, her voice was low. "Ethan, you must hide." "You think I'm going to hide while you fight?" Ethan said. "Yes," Riley answered without hesitation. "Because if you die..." He blinked. Her voice carried something heavier than fear, something deeper. "Riley, I'm not leaving you alone." "You must," she insisted, stepping closer to him. "Please, I will fight better knowing you are safe." Ethan looked at her. The tiny, determined fighter. The way she trembled slightly from exhaustion but still lifted her chin, as if she could face a whole army. He shook his head. She breathed in sharply. "You are too stubborn. And you love that about humans," he teased. Her cheeks flushed a faint shade of gold. "I do not understand this human word, love." "You understand enough." The alarm continued. A red light flashed above the door. Riley grabbed Ethan's wrist. "Then, if you refuse to hide, you must stay behind me. And you must do exactly what I say." "Deal." he said, softly. She nodded and turned toward the hallway, readying herself. The door slid open. 4 soldiers entered. Not 1. Not 2. 4. Tall, armored, with the same cold, glowing visors. Ethan's heart raced. Riley's small body tensed like a coiled spring. One soldier stepped forward. "Veleran Unit R7. You are property of the command. You will return now." Riley straightened her stance. "I am not your property." "You are defective," the soldier said. "Damaged. Unfit." Ethan clenched his jaw. Riley's hands tightened at her sides. "You will come," another soldier said. "Or we will take the human instead." Riley froze. Ethan heard a sound he had never heard from her before, a quiet, fierce growl. "You will not touch him," she said, voice trembling with fury. "If you do, I will end every one of you." Ethan stepped beside her, even though she told him not to. "You don't get to threaten her or me," he said to the soldiers. "She's free now." The soldiers raised their weapons. Riley exhaled sharply. Ethan moved back. Before he could react, she leaped forward, dodging a shot that burned through the air. She spun, kicking off a wall and landing behind one soldier. She was fast, too fast to follow clearly. She struck a weak joint in the armor. Sparks flew. But 4 soldiers were too many for her alone. One grabbed her arm and swung her across the floor. She hit the ground hard, but rolled back to her feet. Another soldier swung a heavy fist toward her head. She ducked and slashed upward with her arm blade. But they were surrounding her now, tightening the circle. Ethan's heart pounded. He scanned the room, tools everywhere. Wrenches, cutters, welders. Nothing strong enough to fight armored soldiers. Then he saw it. A thermal regulator coil, a powerful one, used to melt thick metal blocks. Ethan snatched it from the shelf, flicked it on, and heat shimmered around the coil. He ran forward. One soldier raised its weapon toward Riley. Ethan shouted, "Hey!" The soldier turned. Ethan slammed the heated coil into the soldier's chest plate. The metal glowed bright red. The soldier jerked back, systems malfunctioning. Sparks exploded across its armor. It fell to the ground. 3 left. Riley saw the opening. She darted behind the distracted soldiers and jumped onto one's back, clawing at the cables around its helmet. It swung wildly, trying to throw her off. She held on, tearing through metal with sheer desperation. The other 2 soldiers moved toward Ethan. Riley screamed, "I'm not leaving you!" A soldier raised its weapon. Ethan ducked, barely avoiding the blast. Debris flew everywhere. He rolled behind a crate and grabbed a wrench. The soldier approached. Footsteps heavy. Slow. Ethan waited, breathing quietly. 1 step. 2. When the soldier leaned forward, Ethan swung upward and smashed the wrench into the exposed joint under the helmet. The soldier staggered, but didn't fall. It reached for him, but suddenly Riley flew into it from the side, knocking it off balance. Her small voice cut through the chaos. "I told you to stay behind me. I told you I wasn't leaving," Ethan yelled back. She landed beside him, panting. 2 soldiers remained, one struggling with its damaged circuits, one fully functional. Riley grabbed Ethan's arm. "Listen to me. If they take me, it is fine. But if they take you—" "No," he interrupted. "You don't get to say that. I'm not letting you go." "No." She blinked, stunned. "You are important," Ethan said. "To me." Riley's hands trembled. The soldiers charged. Riley grabbed Ethan and shoved him behind her, then lunged forward to intercept the nearest soldier. She slid under its swing and jabbed her elbow into its leg joint. The soldier fell to one knee. Ethan charged the second soldier with another tool, an electric arc welder. He jammed it into the soldier's back. Electricity crackled. The soldier spasmed and collapsed. Riley finished the last soldier, slicing through its weakened cables. Then, everything fell silent again. Riley stood there, chest heaving, armor cracked, hands shaking. Ethan walked over to her. "You okay?" he whispered. She nodded weakly, but her legs wobbled. Ethan caught her before she fell. "Easy," he said. "You've been fighting nonstop." Riley pressed her head against his chest, breathing fast. "Ethan, you fought. For me." "Of course I did." "That is not supposed to happen," she said softly. "Humans are not part of our wars." "Then maybe your wars are wrong," Ethan said gently. "Because no one should own you. No one should chase you." Riley swallowed, her eyes shining. "Then, what am I now? If I am no longer theirs?" He lifted her chin so she'd look at him. "You're free." She stared at him for a long moment. Her voice came out small. "Free feels strange. You'll get used to it," he said softly. Riley placed her small hand over his heart again. "And you? What are you now?" Ethan smiled. "Someone who cares about you." Her voice softened to a whisper. "On my world, if a fighter chooses someone, it means they will stay with them for life. And what if the human chooses back?" Ethan asked quietly. Riley's breath hitched. "Then, the bond becomes unbreakable." "Sounds like something worth having," Ethan said. Riley stared at him, eyes wide, unsure if she heard him right. "Ethan, do you choose me?" He placed his hand gently over her own. "Yeah, I do." Her eyes shimmered, full of emotion she had never allowed herself to feel. Then she leaned into him, small arms wrapping around his waist, holding him with fierce, trembling relief. "Then I am not alone anymore," she whispered. "Never again," Ethan said. Outside, the station alarms faded. The battles ended. The danger was gone. Inside the maintenance room, a tiny Velarin fighter and a human engineer held onto each other like two souls who had finally found what they didn't know they were missing. A new beginning, a new bond, and a future neither of them had ever imagined.